Hi. I wanted to share another dream with you all. Um, this one was um 2 nights ago. Okay, so um I don't at the beginning of the dream I don't remember where I was. I know that I was coming from some kind of where people were getting gathered together, like some kind of meeting. Announcements were just made. And I got into my car and I was rushing like really quick away from that group. Um, and I was rushing. I was in a town. I don't remember the town. I don't think I've been there before, but I was rushing and um, I came to an intersection and it was before, like, it had a stoplights at the intersection, and it had entrance that kind of went up a hill a little bit to a building that when I was going up to it, I perceived it as like a mall. Nothing gave me the clue that it was a mall. I just thought it was a mall. And right there at the entrance of the parking lot, like you go up to the parking lot to go to the mall, there was a sidewalk. So you have the sidewalk and then you cross over the entrance like a crosswalk, and there's a red light there. So if you would come down the hill, you'd stop at the red light before you go. And I was coming toward, like driving toward the mall. Okay. And I knew that I was going there to grab my daughter. Um, the parking lot, since it was a hill, it was kind of up, and where the sidewalk ended to meet the parking lot, there was like a retaining wall that was about 3 feet high. And then you parked like facing the retaining wall. And she was with a group of girls, and it looked like they were about to hurt her, or they were trying to hurt her. And she saw the car coming, and I kind of did a quick turn, like tailspin, like and blocked the entrance, like the four-way stop to the mall. And I put down the windows, and I was like, "Get in!" And she was like, "Mom," and she jumped off the retaining wall to the sidewalk and ran and got in the back seat of the car to get away from everyone. And she had a friend that is a school friend, that she was really good friends with, this past year, that somehow was there. And I'm not going to give her name, but I said, "Get in the car," to her. And she got in the car in the back seat with my daughter. And they had the doors closed, but the windows were down. So I was kind of talking toward the entrance of the mall, out of the passenger side window. And there was two other girls that I don't know who they were, but I'm assuming they knew them from school as well. But they were in the group that might have been trying to hurt my daughter. And they were walking kind of in the street of the entrance of the mall, that hill type area. And they were standing there right by the car. And I pointed to one of them and I looked at her and I said, you too, get in the car. And she looked at me and she said, "No." And she turned around and walked off with that other girl. And they went back up the hill toward this building, once again, that I perceived was the mall. Okay. So my daughter was like, "No, Mom, like I don't know, there's something wrong. They've turned or something." Okay. And so we took off. Next thing I remember, so I'm going to switch hands. Next thing I remember, we were in a home. It was dimly lit, if it was lit at all. I'm not too sure. And I had the knowledge that the man that owned the home, that was in the home still, was laying on the ground somewhere like the living room. And I was in the kitchen area with my daughter. And I don't have a memory of having a confrontation with this man, or fighting him for any reason. But I know that he was not alive and he was in the living area, or just laying. I don't ever remember really seeing him, but it's kind of like I knew there was a man there laying, and it was the owner of the home. And I was in the kitchen and we were looking around for something. And I saw on the counter something that was the size of like a sheet of paper. And it had instructions. And it had a couple of things on it to do, like instructions. And by every instruction, like I think when you did it, there was a circle. Okay, I'm not going to do that sign because people are going to take it wrong. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, but there was a circle. And underneath the circle, it was like flat, but it has some kind of metal prongs underneath. So you had like 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 circles. Or 6 circles. 6 circles on this page. 6 circles on this page. So there was things to do, or check off, or write, or something. Okay. And I remember having to do something with that paper. All of a sudden, that house flipped. Like I was not in that house again. And I was in another home. Same thing. Okay, I don't recognize these homes. I don't recognize where I was. Same thing. It was me, my daughter, but this time my son was in it and one of his friends. And my son and the friend were kind of in the back of the home that I could recognize, like maybe a guest bathroom, like a visitor's bath, that just has a sink and a toiletry area, and then a washer and dryer area. It was kind of back, and it was back by a galley style kitchen. My daughter and I were rummaging around the galley style kitchen, and for some reason my car was parked in the garage area, like I was hiding it. And once again I saw this paper, and it was on the kitchen counter by the refrigerator. And once again, a man was laying in the house, somewhere in the house, main area somewhere. Once again, he was not alive. Don't know the man. And I still don't remember having a confrontation with this person. This is another person. I don't remember having to fight him for any reason, but that he was not a threat. Okay, that's all I know. He wasn't a threat but I don't remember any type of confrontation. Okay. It's nighttime, but it's not so dark. It's still like a little light. Like sometimes you have nighttime that it just has a lot of light to it for some reason. The moon's really bright, I guess. And my son and his friend are still in the back searching. Okay. And, okay, so my daughter and I are in the kitchen, and she's watching me, and I'm looking at this paper, and once again, it has the 6 circles, like 2, 4, 6, and things to do. And there's like this pin, like an injector pin, but it was like, like a pin, and it's laying on the paper. And I knew that you were supposed to take that pin and inject something into yourself. And from what I knew is that I knew it was the mark, and that everyone and I'm guessing it was from that meeting, everyone had these papers, and they were all supposed to be done at a certain time limit. Like once you got home or wherever, you had a certain time limit that it needed to be done and complete. All these 6 things on this paper and that injected had to be complete to show that you're going to comply. And once it started getting to the time limit or the time frame that it was about to be up, okay, once again, I'm still running from someone, okay? And once it started getting to the time it was going to be up, all the bubbles, it was really weird. I'm sorry, I'm having a pain. All the bubbles on the paper started like puffing up with air, like, and they almost looked like a skin. Like the bubble was like skin. It started puffing up from the paper. And I knew that once they erupted, like something was wrong. And like an alert started going. Okay, so if you didn't take this and do all the instructions by this time, what happened is that they knew you didn't, and an alarm went off, showing that you had not done it. And so these bubbles started going up, and I started pressing 2 of them down at the same time, and I had to like pop them. I had to pop them on those metal prongs that were underneath the bubbles, like sticking up. Okay. And I was pushing really hard down, and I was like, dear Jesus, like, just Jesus, help. And I was trying to pop them, and I couldn't. I was like, Jesus, give me strength. And I popped 2 of them. And then I grabbed that pin because the alarms had gone off, but I grabbed that pin and I knew that it was about to explode. Something was about to come out of it, because it had not been used. So it was something either to make you take it, but I had the impression that it was almost like a shrapnel, like something was coming out to get rid of you if you're anywhere close to it. So I grabbed the pin, and there was a counter behind me, and I threw it in the cabinet and closed the door, and it exploded. And the shrapnel kind of went all in the cabinet. And that time, my son and his friend were at the front door of the house, which you could see through the galley kitchen. And they were going to the door, and there was armed military there in black, like helmet type faces, and black, like gray and black armor with guns. And they were like, where is she? And my son and his friend were like, they're gone. They're gone. They're not here. They're gone. And I had taken my daughter and grabbed her, and we ran into the garage, and she got in the back seat, and the doors were open of the car, because I guess we got there quick, and the doors were open, and we got into the garage and got into the car, and the doors were open, and there was one door left open when we closed them to go. And I was like, well, I guess that door's being taken off, because I hit it in reverse. And my son and his friend stayed at the door so that my daughter and I could get away. I could get my daughter away. And they were coming through shooting, and I floored it to reverse back out of the garage. And I thought, man, I wonder what all the people are going to do that have electric cars. And then I woke up. Know Jesus. Don't be left. God loves you. He's got you. If you know his son, he wants all to come to him. No fear. No fear in the Lord. He's a great and mighty God. And he always makes a way out. He's coming sooner than you think. And he wants you with him. I hope to see you. And I hope you're part of my family. In the name of Jesus, I pray God bless you and keep you.